It's an actual value that I have. And I know this might be very surprising. There's like 3 of these in the whole world. But one of the things that I've always thought is that whenever I was I know it's crazy. Whenever I was a little kid, I was like 9 years old. And I realized that everything in the world was generally fake. Like movies were fake, news stories they're reading off of a teleprompter. And the entire perception that you have with the world is completely a misrepresentation, right? And because of that, what that made me want to do is it made me want to be able to tell this story and document a genuine life and a person who truly existed in the way that they actually were. And that's what I did. And so I've documented everything in my life ever since I was like 9 or 10, and especially after 11 years old, I've recorded everything. And so 11, what took you so long? Well, it's I knew this already, but then I could actually act on it and record things. So I've recorded my whole life, basically, right? My everything that I've done and everything, because I think that there's a certain degree of obligation that I have to tell the story of a real life. And does that sound stupid or like self-indulgent or egotistical? Maybe it does. But I viewed this as like something, because I feel like a lot of people see things one-dimensionally. And that's why I've told kind of like all of the high points and all of the low points of my life, right? Like the best things about like, you know, oh, I did this and I did that. And, you know, like things are going really well for me right now. And then there's also the low points. I had a raccoon in my attic, and, you know, I woke up with, you know, a dead rat because it would start getting cooked by the sun. And what are some other ones? Oh yeah, all my teeth fell out and then I was going to kill myself. So I started streaming. And so like the entire story and everything, I think the reason why I care about it so much is because I don't think that it really exists. And maybe nobody ever will care, but at least it will exist. That there will be some documentation of a person, you know, a guy that lived in Austin, Texas, and what he did. And that's it. Unapologetic real. Yeah, and it's been a responsibility that I've felt like I've had for my whole life. Like I record, and I remember even in like high school, for example, like I would bring my video camera and we'd like throw rocks at cars on the way home from the bus. And I would record this, and I would tell my friends, like, and my friends would be like, why are you recording this? I'd be like, because nobody's going to believe any of this ever happened. Nobody will believe this ever happened. Like, and a lot of the stories, like, yeah, because it's so ridiculous and it's so stupid. Like, yeah, it's like, there's no way. And so I recorded all of it for years. And it's especially like, if you go back to, like, for example, like I have old videos of myself, and I guess I was like maybe 11 or 12 then, and it was like a snow day or something like that. And so like I'm calling my friends up on like the landline phone, and I'm like, do you guys want to come over and watch Newgrounds videos on like on my internet, and, you know, all that stuff, right? And then we're gonna go out and we're gonna play at the park and like throw, you know, snowballs at each other. And so like and all of the high points and also all of the low points, right? And telling the entire story, I think, is a responsibility that I have to myself, really. I mean, if nobody else, it is because I feel like the world is full of fakery and lies. And I always didn't want to do, I never wanted to do that. And so, and it might sound weird, like maybe it sounds weird, and like explaining it, there's like a degree of like egocentrism that I feel like I kind of am displaying by talking about this, but that's what matters the most to me. So you Truman showed yourself? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Do you think you're solipsist? Well, I don't know about that, but you're one of the few that wasn't indoctrinated into posting only positive and glamorous. No, and it never mattered. It never mattered to me at all, because the reason why is that I don't know. I never really thought that I owed my existence to anyone, or I owed anything to anyone for doing anything. All I did is I just wanted to be myself, and that's all that I cared about. I only cared about being myself, and if I had to compromise that, there was no point in existing. Like, why would I want to exist as a person if I can't be myself? And so that's it. You're being a little gay right now? I think you're right. But that's just the way I feel about it, right? That's what it is. And so, yeah, insecure chatter. Yeah, definitely. And you're true to yourself. Yeah, you dropped your gay card. Is that it? And if someone were to compile it all together in a video, what would you call it? Nothing. I mean, I don't really have a title for it or anything like that. I don't think it really matters at all. Did you say Rachel Ziegler started an OnlyFans? There's no way she started an OnlyFans. Like, it would be really funny, but, you know, I don't think that's what happened. And yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong, though. And I'm convinced the world could be a better place. And if more people did that, if people pursue the truth. Yeah. And so that's one of the reasons why it mattered. What if being sincere to your audience is actually being audience captured? I think that's an interesting concept, right? But I just try to be whatever the most accurate version of myself is. And I try to live my life in a way that I think is authentic to myself. And I think that that's something that is lost in a lot of people in the US. And I think it's also lost in a lot of people in social media. So a lot of the things that I do that are like disgusting or weird are also reassuring to people because they know that they're dealing with a real person. Because nobody who has an agenda would admit to having a dead rat for an alarm clock. Straight up. That's a big reason. Yep, that's it.